Hey, this is Erica Holston. I am a certified dating and relationship coach. I am so excited that you are here with me today. Before I get started, I want to ask you to hit the subscribe button so when I go live or when I upload videos, you won't miss out on any dating or relationship tips. I, I am so excited because I am going to speak with you when it comes to three things you must do to have a happy marriage. And before I get started, remember to hit the subscribe button. So, when it comes to marriage, marriage can be very beautiful. Marriage can be what you put into it, but it also takes a lot of work. And I think that some couples experience a misconception that marriage doesn't take work and I can just wing it. But when married couples actually discover that marriage takes work, sometimes they are in for a surprise. So this is the reason why I am having this video is just so for you to be empowered and to be equipped when it comes to being married. So for example, you may be a single person and you want to be married, and so you just want some tips when it comes to what does a happy marriage look like. Or you can be currently married and you're experiencing some struggles and you just want different ways that you can do things in order for you to get better results. So I'm so glad that you were able to join today because we are definitely going to talk about it. When I help married couples, when it comes to communication issues, when it comes to trust issues, or when it comes to a lack of love, one of the things that I consistently see is that sometimes couples don't make each other a priority. So, for example, I was coaching a married couple, and the husband was the breadwinner and he took care of all the bills and he just knew how to take care of his household. And his wife, she was working as well, but the husband was the breadwinner. So the wife felt like she was missing out on her marriage because her husband was working all of the time, and by him working all of the time she just felt like she wasn't a priority. So she also felt like her husband made his job a priority. Now, he did have a very demanding job and he needed to handle business a certain way, and that's totally understandable. But for her, what she really wanted was for her husband to pay her attention and to spend more time with her. And when it comes to being married, quality time is definitely a love language that some couples actually struggle with. And one of the ways that I helped this couple was to discover different ways that they can actually make each other a priority. And let me tell you, when they made each other a priority, that their results were phenomenal. The wife was satisfied. The husband felt reassured that his wife was happy, and that brought him great comfort. And that's how marriage should be, is when husband and wife actually comfort each other by listening to each other. And I mean truly actively listening to each other and listening to each other's needs. When a husband and wife listen to each other's needs, the person that they are married to feels valuable. And that's what you want. You want to feel valuable in your marriage. You want to feel loved. You want to feel understood. Like you want to feel all these things. And as far as a marriage is concerned, you just don't want to have a marriage. You want to have a good marriage. You want to have a happy marriage. And, I just want to share with you some tips when it comes to three things you must do to have a happy marriage. And number one is you have to make time for each other. So, for example, you may actually have to go through your schedule and look at different things as far as, are the things on your schedule, are they a priority? And if they are, that's cool. But if there's anything that you can adjust, well, maybe this is an opportunity for you to think about adjusting those things, or for you to carve some time out. So, for example, you may be working from your computer at home, and you may work from 9 to 5, 10 to 7, something like that. And you may, have to cook dinner for your family, and you want to go and work out. And by the time that you're finished with all that, you could be tired. So, as a wife, I totally get it and I totally understand. And if that is the case for you, that even though you may be tired, that you still have to make time for your husband or your wife. And here's what I mean by that is that, maybe you'll have that quality time where you're just talking to each other for 15 to 45 minutes together, just catching up on each other day, just trying to see, is there any way that you can support to each other. But I think one of the key factors is to actually listen to each other and to let each other know, like, hey, I understand you. Hey, I support you. Hey, I love you, and I want you to know how valuable you are. And, when it comes to listening definitely helps couples to come together with a certain type of cohesiveness. And that quality time will help you to create that cohesiveness. So maybe it for you is not necessarily talking with each other. Maybe for you is actually physical touch. Maybe for you is actually having more romance in your bedroom. Like, whatever the case may be, make sure that you spend that quality time with each other. And whatever your definition is, like, that's totally valuable. So, talk to your husband or talk to your wife about it. And when you talk to your husband or your wife, ask them, like, what is most important to you? Like, what would you consider to be valuable time? And when you ask them that question and then you share with them your answer as well, see what you guys can come up with together. And when you are able to do that, that is definitely going to help you to create a happy marriage. Number two is that when you provide each other feedback, don't get so defensive, meaning that, for example, let's say that you guys got into an argument and you apologized to each other, but there was something that was unresolved. And because it was unresolved, you may want to bring it back up because you just want to know a little bit more information so you can have a clear understanding. And as you have that clear understanding and you actually ask your husband or your wife a question like, hey, when we were talking the other day, like, I just want some clarification on that. When that is actually brought up, whether if it's from your husband or your wife, don't become defensive. Sometimes your husband or your wife actually want you to give them feedback as far as them having an understanding. I know, for the couples that I help, that many times that when a husband or a wife asks each other questions, sometimes they can become very defensive, like, well, wait a minute, like, we just talked about that, or wait a minute, like, I thought that we were over that. But sometimes us as spouses, sometimes we need a little bit more clarification. So please, when it comes to asking each other questions or feedback, like, let that defensiveness down and really try to listen to each other by being attentive. Really try to listen to each other by being understanding. And when you are able to do this and when you can apply this, that it can actually help you to see like, hey, maybe my husband was asking me this because he really wanted to know about this. And because he loves me, he just wants to make sure that everything is cool between us. And when you communicate that love to each other and trying to process information and talk with each other, that when that happens, that is helping you to create a happy marriage. And as you work towards a happy marriage, and the key word here is work, right? Because marriage is totally work. And again, I think that some couples have this misconception like, oh, we can just coast it and we'll be fine. But if you actually work towards having a happy marriage, let me tell you, is that you are definitely going to see the results that you want and see the results that you need. Number three, and this is my last tip for you, is that when you have a disagreement, don't think about your spouse as being the enemy. One of my mentors had shared this with me, and I have even applied this to my own marriage. I have helped so many couples when it comes to their marriage for them not to see each other as the enemy. Meaning is that when you guys are getting on each other's nerves, when you can have a misunderstanding, when there is something said that you don't like, is that as you know that your husband or your wife loves you, for you just to actually think about it in the sense of, okay, my husband isn't my enemy. I am going to listen to him and I am going to try to understand him in the way that he needs to be understood. So when you think about it this way and not seeing your husband as your enemy, that can actually bring down the defensive wall as well. And for some of us, it's actually going to take us practice not to think about our husband or our wife as an enemy, but to have a lens on as in love, saying that I know that you don't intentionally mean to hurt me. I know that you want us to have a good marriage. I know that you want us to work together. I know that you want what's best for me, you want what's best for you, and you want what's best for our marriage. And so if you're able to think about it like that, and again, it can take some work just to mentally to have that as a concept, because for many couples it really makes you think like, wow, my husband isn't my enemy, or wow, my wife isn't my enemy. So again, just think about it, try to apply it, try to move forward with it, and see the results that you can get from this. So my three tips are: check in with each other by making quality time and asking each other the quality time as far as what's important to you. Number three is don't think about feedback as an attack. And then number three is your spouse is not the enemy. If you are able to apply these things, let me tell you, is that you are on your way to a happy marriage. My name is Erica J. Holston. I am a certified dating and relationship coach. I hope that you found this beneficial. Again, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. And as you subscribe, you will definitely see some dating tips as well as relationship tips when it comes to relationships. And if you have any questions about dating, relationships, or even marriage, please don't hesitate to email me at info@vinelifecoaching.com. I hope that you found this very beneficial, and I hope that you are on your way to creating a happy marriage. I will talk to you soon. Take care.